Part 1, The Haunting Childhood of Ed Gein. Picture this: a small, secluded town in Wisconsin, blanketed by vast fields and surrounded by dense forests. It was in this unassuming place, Plainfield, that the infamous story of Ed Gein unfolded. Born on August 27, 1906, Gein's childhood would prove to be a harrowing precursor to the unsettling crimes he would commit later in life. Growing up in a modest farmhouse, Ed Gein was the youngest of two siblings. He lived with his domineering, religiously fanatical mother, Augusta, and his older brother, Henry. Ed's father, George, was a quiet man who struggled with alcoholism and eventually passed away when Ed was just a teenager. This left the young Gein under the strict control of his overbearing mother. Augusta Gein's influence on her son cannot be overstated. She instilled in him a deep sense of religious fervor, constantly preaching about the sins of the outside world and the corrupting nature of women. Augusta's strict beliefs and isolating nature kept the Gein family secluded from the rest of the community. Ed's social interactions were limited, mostly confined to the walls of his home and the occasional school day. As he grew older, he became increasingly withdrawn and socially awkward. His classmates described him as odd and a loner, never quite fitting in with his peers. It was clear that Ed Gein was different, but no one could have predicted the horrors that lay within his troubled mind. During his formative years, Gein was exposed to the gruesome tales of Nazi atrocities, which were widely reported at the time. These stories, coupled with his mother's constant warnings about the wickedness of the world, nurtured a deep-seated fascination with death and the macabre. Ed would spend hours poring over medical textbooks, exploring the inner workings of the human body, and imagining the possibilities lurking beneath the skin. Tragedy struck the Gein family once again when Henry, Ed's only remaining family member, died in a mysterious fire on the family farm. Some speculated that Ed had a hand in his brother's demise, but no concrete evidence ever surfaced. Regardless, with his mother now alone, Ed became her sole caretaker, further solidifying the toxic bond they shared. Augusta's death in 1945 marked a turning point in Ed Gein's life. Suddenly left without the guiding force of his mother's controlling presence, he spiraled into a world of delusion and depravity. The farmhouse became his twisted playground, where he indulged his darkest fantasies. In the years that followed, Gein's horrifying acts would come to light, shocking the nation and forever branding him as one of history's most deranged killers. But what truly drove Ed Gein to commit such unspeakable acts of violence? Was it his traumatic upbringing, the toxic influence of his mother, or something else entirely? As we dive further into the twisted mind of Ed Gein, we will uncover the chilling details of his crimes and attempt to unravel the complex web of psychological torment that pushed him over the edge. Join us in the next part as we explore the origins of his disturbing desires and the catalysts that fueled his descent into darkness. To be continued.